Living in harmony with the Black Sea, Georgia's humble people seem to have been blessed with its ever-flowing waters. Wine dating back 7,000 years is their pride and joy. Today, we'll visit Georgia's capital, Tbilisi, a city that has inspired the literary minds of many. A lively arena that boasts of a unique culture and its arts. In the heart of Georgia, we encounter the great legacy of its people. After a 15-hour flight, including a layover in Doha, Qatar, we finally landed in Georgia's capital city of Tbilisi, the hidden treasure of Eurasia. Located at the foot of the southern Caucasus Mountains, the area now known as Tbilisi is said to have been populated as early as the 4th century BCE. In the 5th century BCE, King Vakhtang of Kartli founded the city of Tbilisi, which served as the capital of the Georgian kingdom from the 11th century onwards. Unearthed during a city repair project in 2005, remnants of the ancient city reveal the history of a land that has endured countless invasions. Tbilisi was originally built as a fortress city.
Tbilisi ottуда начиналась Тбилиси. Отсюда это ворота, входной ворота Тбилиси.
Это было ворота.
Ворота Тбилиси, это старое восстановили раньше, это сделано.
말하자면 트빌리시의 시작점이라고 보시면 될 것 같습니다.
In the marketplace, one can gain a preview of a country's traditions and customs. So we sought out the city's Mashraili Hidi, or dry bridge flea market. The excellent craftsmanship of Georgian metalwork can be seen in the traditional kinjal dagger.
Почему так в Грузии так много продаются вот это такие кинжалы?
Это у нас со старина идет там. У нас есть такая одежда, чоха называется.
Чоха, да?
Да. Вот ремень для чохи.
Вот это все там, да?
Да, и кинжалом. Ну, старые так ходили.
Это
специальная грузинская одежда, да, чоха.
A certain handicraft catches my eye, but it's hard to tell what it's designed for. Brought up to my head, they resemble the horns of an ancient Viking helmet.
간지라는 술잔인데 조지아 사람들이 여기에다가 술을 먹는다고 합니다.
They seem like a strange way to drink. But as a Kansi workshop was in the vicinity, I decided to drop in. Used as a drinking vessel in Georgia since the ancient times, the kansi is made from the horns of bovids like cows and goats. Hence, each one is unique in size and shape. In order to smooth the surface, mud is first applied to the horn and then scraped off. The key to a good kansi is a hard and shiny exterior. Special care is taken to remove all scraps from the inside. After all, it is a drinking vessel. Finally, to get rid of any remaining odor, paraffin wax is used to rinse the interior.
냄새가 확 없어졌는데요?
At last, a kansi is fashioned.
Давайте попробуем.
განსხვავებული სასმელია. და ძველი ტრადიცია.
Although the kansi is mostly used for decorative purposes today, it is said to have been an absolute necessity in their daily lives in the past. It was an essential part of hunting for Georgian men, each of whom carried a kansi on his belt.
싹 하면은 쏙 들어가는데요?
It certainly seems very portable.
Zobacz, jest ciekawe jest specjalne,
Tbilisi also has its fair share of florists.
Здравствуйте. А почем этот розы?
Розы штука
Штука.
5 лар.
5 лар, да?
As it turns out, flowers are rather expensive compared to other living expenses.
А какие цветы вообще любят? Грузин. Грузин это?
Розы.
розы или там розы.
Розы
да? 아, очень любят, да? 아, 여기도 아주 저기를 좋아한다 그러네요.
As Georgians love to give flowers as a present, I too have someone I'd like to gift a flower to. And it is none other than the Russian writer Pushkin.
그대 자유로운 영혼이 원하는 곳으로 그대 자유로운 곳으로 떠나라. 어린아이처럼 순진하고 무모하게. 지금 푸시킨 동상 앞에 와 있는데요. 푸시킨은 이곳 조지아의 수도 트빌리시를 엄청 사랑했었습니다. 물론 푸시킨은 제 러시아 문학의 원천이기도 하고요. 러시아 사람들은 이렇게 얘기합니다. 푸시킨은 우리의 모든 것이라고. 오늘 그 푸시킨을 조지아의 수도에서 만났습니다.
So what did Pushkin love so much about the city of Tbilisi? Legend has it that in the 5th century, city founder King Vakhtang was out hunting when he saw a wounded deer being healed after bathing in a hot water spring, a sight that inspired him to move his capital to Tbilisi. The sulfuric hot springs of Abano Tubani attest to the origins of the name Tbilisi, which means warm location. The legendary Pushkin praised these hot springs in 1829, and they've been famous ever since.
Отроду не встречал я ничего роскошнее тбилисских бань. 티플리스의 사우나보다 더 멋진 곳을 나는 만나본 적이 없다라고 써있네요.
And so we follow in the footsteps of Pushkin, dating back 200 years. Constructed in the 17th century during the Persian invasions, the facilities and design of these Arabian-style dome-shaped baths remain unchanged to this day. But the management of these facilities has most likely undergone some changes. A special treatment offered here is body exfoliation, which is said to have existed since ancient times.
한국은 좀 아프거든요, 사실 이거 할 때. 근데 전혀 안 아프게 하시네.
For the finale, he fills a giant cloth bag with air, which magically bursts with a cloud of foam. It was as if all the fatigue of traveling was cleansed in an instant.
두시. 이제 샤워를 한번 합니다. Вы сделаете по традиции или по традиции, да? давным-давно, да?
Вот сырая вода нашли,
유황 온천을 발견한 다음에
здесь построили это баню. Начало было 15 века, начало 16 века. И с того времени эта профессия идет, и в бане всегда есть еще стиль. Вот это все старая баня. Без нового ничего нет.
Tbilisi wasn't a source of inspiration to just Pushkin. It has inspired other creative spirits, particularly the Georgian epic poet, Shota Rustaveli, a central figure in medieval European literature.
지금 제 뒤에 보이는 동상이 루스타벨리 동상인데요. 루스타벨리는 조지아의 자랑이며 또 자존심인 것 같습니다. 그의 작품은 표범 가죽을 입은 기사라는 유명한 작품이 있는데 전 세계적으로 많이 번역도 되었습니다. 12세기 작가이고 12세기 중세 조지아 문학의 황금기를 열었던 사람입니다. 만약 푸시킨이 러시아의 모든 것이라면 루스타벨리는 조지아의 모든 것이라고 얘기할 수 있을 것 같습니다.
The majority of Georgia's main streets are named after Rustaveli in some way. We stopped at an express bookstore on the corner of Rustaveli Avenue. As Georgia was once part of the Soviet Union, Russian is still widely used, as shown by the number of Russian books for sale.
Это переведены как только стихотворение, да? Это ведь связь в тигровой шкуре, да?
Вообще оформлял, там зычит, это троицы, это художники, там все. И миниатюра, там все.
표범 가죽을 입은 기사라는 책인데요. 러시아어로 번역이 된 겁니다. 제가 오래전부터 번역해보고 싶었던 건데 여기서 만났습니다.
We're all helpless before death, whose spear can scar and pierce us all. And so do not live disgracefully, but try to meet your end with dignity. Now mostly used for performances, the Rustaveli National Theatre was originally founded as the Artist Society and served as the main forum for the town's socialites. In the 19th century, renowned composers from Russia and Italy came here to exhibit their work. Among them was Tchaikovsky, who came here at least 5 times as both a performer and spectator. In the 20th century, the theater started hosting plays. It soon became the National Theater.
И первый спектакль, который они играли на этой сцене, это было в 1901 году. Это классик, грузинский классик, драматург Аксенти Цагарели Ханума, комедия. Да, это вообще-то на этой сцене играли и грузинскую драматургию, и греческую, да, да. И самый любимый нашего театра это Шекспир и Брехт. Да.
Next, we visited the State Museum of Georgian folk songs and musical instruments to witness yet another national treasure, the Georgian Polyphonic Choir. Registered as a UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage, the Polyphonic works to extract the sounds of ancient Georgian music, a project that's still ongoing today.
Цель ансамбля Сахиоба, чтобы восстановить и манеру исполнения, и напев, как бы древний напев, и вот это вот особенность ансамбля Сахиоба.
Rather than songs with an emphasis on lyrics, they sing folk music conveying a variety of sounds. Working without sheet music, they strive for a collective goal of overall harmony.
Обычно они могли петь все голоса, и они последствуют вот эту традицию.
The arts and culture are what make Tbilisi a very special city. I came here lured in by the sound of music in the distance. I ran into students of Tbilisi State University practicing a traditional dance. A dynamic dance conveying an air of lofty pride. It still remains the humble origins of the Georgian people.
Народы очень много интересных танцев. Это очень богатый край. И очень много хороводных танцев вообще. Хороводные танцы, и это наша история. По традиции это наша история. И это гордость наша вообще-то.
I tried learning the dance for myself. With so many students watching me, I felt self-conscious and couldn't dance very well. The fast foot movement was intense, evoking the bravery of the Caucasus mountain warriors.
Будет торжественный день. Если у вас будет желание, пожалуйста, приходите.
Обязательно.
Мы будем очень рады.
Да, обязательно. Спасибо.
Promising we'd see each other again, we said our goodbyes. We leave Tbilisi for a moment to visit the ancient capital of Gori, where the story of Georgia's origins begins. It is a 2-hour car ride to Gori. On the way, we stopped at a village named Chiatura. What can I say? It's a very interesting city. A river runs through the middle, and the mountains on both sides mold the city into a V. Once famous for its manganese mines, the town is now dwindling in population as the outdated mines continue to rust with age. Chiatura has a very unique public transportation system, a cable car that climbs up both sides of the mountain.
Новый Дарбет. Вот здесь новый Дарбет. Новый Дарбет называется. Новый Дарбет? Еще есть возле второй этики. Рудник 36-го.
I suppose I can't leave without riding one. First installed in 1954 by a local engineer named Georgian Pansalai, it's still used by residents today.
굉장히 빨라요. 귀가 다 먹먹하네.
The car travels upwards at a speed of 15 kilometers per hour and travels back down at 25 kilometers per hour. We get off at around 500 to 800 meters from the city center, right in the middle of the mountain. A total of 8 cable cars commute across both sides of the valley. After being told I could see how the car is operated, I went and found a lady at her post. She told me that running the car is very simple and that the job holds no real dangers. The machinery that runs the car is a bit loud, but the locals will continue using these cars for a good while. This is a meter that moves as the car does. It looks like another car is coming down. As it arrives, she applies the brakes. There is no set running time, so everything must always be supervised. We decided to climb a bit higher. Because the ride is free, passengers must open and close the doors themselves. The view of Chiatora from up here is lovely. Although this car was once used by thousands per day, it is only about 100 daily commuters now.
Каждый день это используете вы? Да. Не страшно?
Да, ничего не страшно.
Как? Ну это такие... Нет? Вы родились в этом городе? Да? А сколько вам лет, если не секрет?
70.
70?
78.
78?
Я не курю.
Ага, это хорошо.
Не пью, водка не пью, вино пью.
А только вино, да? Это хорошо.
We stopped at the top of the mountain.
Да?
Все время, вот весь город видно.
Ага.
Все.
This city was built for miners. As a result, houses were built all along the mountains, and a cable car was installed to traverse the peaks.
저쪽에 저 보이는 글씨가 나는 행복하다 치아투라에 살고 있어서라는 뜻이랍니다. 저도 이 치아투라에 와서 이 아름다운 사람들과 아름다운 광경을 보고 있어 너무 행복합니다.
Although its glory days are over, this small town still radiates with its own unique beauty. We finally arrive at the ancient city of Gori. In Georgian, Gori means hill, upon which an ancient city of up to 20,000 people thrived during the Bronze Age, when people lived in groups in caves.
Очень старый город. Приблизительно 10 век до нашей эры это был город. Город, который имел все: театр, базар, аптеки, винодавильня, винохранилище, хлебопекарня, питьевая вода, канализационная система. Это все в камне видал. Да. Оно было центральный город Картли. Картли это середина Грузии. Сакартвело, Грузия.
As if confirming that wine originated in Georgia, Uplishjike boasts an ancient wine cellar. Remnants of the ancients scattered throughout seem to tell stories of life back then. This was a public graveyard. In prehistoric times, the Caucasus mountain people were a sun-worshipping people. The Uplishjike was no exception. After the spread of Christianity, however, it now serves as a popular spot for historical tourism.
I like it very much. It's interesting. So I think it's worth to come here and to see it.
Even after the Christians migrated to the area, they continued to use caves for shelter. In the ancient city's center is a theater, an impressive stone-carved formation.
Вот тебе и театр. Первая кулиса, вторая, потом пустое пространство. Декораций никаких, Прямо видно озеро. 이게 최고의 갈매기에 나오는 대사입니다. 자, 이게 극장이에요. 사이막 외에는 아무것도 없죠. 어떠한 데코레이션도 없습니다. 마치 이 장소가 기원전에 최호흡을 예견하고 만들어졌던 극장 같은데요.
Octagonal indentations were carved into the ceiling to improve the theater's acoustics. I wonder what sorts of plays were performed here. However, the 13th century brought the Mongol invasions, demolishing this town. Their livelihoods fell to an untimely demise, leaving only rubble in this empty city of tragedy.
Да, вода питьевая вода за горами, два родника сейчас есть, родники, и керамическими трубами шла в городе вода, питьевая. Да, если турки, монголы перекрыли водопровод, тогда они выходили через тайного входа. И через туннель вышли? Нет. Туннель есть, который выходит прямо к реке. Очень интересный туннель.
In alignment with Georgia's turbulent history, this place had its fair share of rises and falls. Perhaps that's why they say this next site is the ancient city's most important feature. Behold the winding pathways of the secret tunnels.
이게 비밀 통로인데 굉장히 깊은데요.
Every inch of these was dug by hand. Surprisingly enough, the tunnels lead right up to the Kavari River, gently flowing by the 79,200 square meters of Upleshjike.
적의 침입이 있을 때 이 비밀 통로를 통해서 이곳으로부터 물과 고기와 양식들을 이쪽으로 운반할 수 있게 만들어 놓은 그러한 통로입니다.
There's no telling what twists of fate this river has seen. Georgia's historical city of Gori even saw conflict with Russia in 2008, resulting in around 3,000 casualties and further adding to the unceasing turmoil seen by this land. War and peace, two words that bear heavily upon the people of this area. Statues in a city park are a remembrance of the tragedy that occurred on that eventful day. Gori faces Russia to the north and Turkey to the south, with Iran and Mongolia beyond. Having faced thousands of years of foreign invasions, the people of Gori have long since developed ways to defend themselves.
This sport is our history, and learning. We live in our life.
This is a traditional Georgian martial arts academy.
В X веке какая литература у нас есть, в этом литературе сохранена история этого боевого искусства. Они были охраной грузинских царей.
A single sword for those times hints at how rough their wars must have been. Georgian martial arts focus more on defense than offense. This small shield looks a bit odd.
Очень маленькое движение.
여기 굉장히 작게 움직여야 된다는 거죠?
Да, вот вы делаете мне удар, например, голову делаете удар.
Moving the shield together with the sword helps to minimize injury when practicing with a peer.
Если не успеваете, уход, если не успел. Давайте.
For a nation of so few people facing large enemy nations, one soldier's wounds were seen as a serious strategic loss among Georgian soldiers.
아마 이 조지아가 유일한 15세기 이후에 유일한 기독교 국가였기 때문에 주변에 많은 무슬만들을 대적하기 위해서 아마 이러한 훈련들을 어려서부터 해왔던 것 같습니다.
As promised, I returned to Tbilisi, State University, where I found the dance students warming up for their show. As this is the first traditional dance festival of the year, the excitement and tension in the air are palpable. At last, the show begins. After being liberated from the Soviet Union in 1991, the Georgians began to revive their formerly banned dance traditions, the fruits of which we're seeing now.
환상적이었습니다. 특히 조지아 전통 춤은 제가 본 어떤 세상의 어떤 춤보다도 박력 있고 멋진 춤인 것 같습니다.
A beautiful culture preserved by the courage of its people, who never gave up. Georgia tells a tale of rich heritage, ablaze with fierce passion.